Put love above all else. Just keep that in mind every day, gentlemen. Love above all else. Okay? All right. Well, there are some things that are more important than eye psyche. But on the eye psyche situation, here's what I'm going to say is I understand. Like for me right now, I'm just rooting for the goalies in the playoffs. You know, I I'll be happy for whatever team wins, but I root for the goalies sometimes in the playoffs. You know, good for the Buffalo Sabres for getting that far. Went all the way to Game 7. Got really close. So, that's nothing to sneeze at. Uh, you know, and good for you, Montreal. Good for you. Um, I'm just rooting for the goalies. Okay. But as for the Winnipeg Jets, the only thing I'm going to say here is, well, I do know better than a lot of other people. I can see the things that you cannot see or understand because I'm like super uber vigilant nerd when it comes to ice hockey, particularly the National Hockey League. And what I'm going to say about the Jets is that listen, I listen to a lot of different perspectives. Okay, I didn't block anyone while on Winnipeg Sports Talk. I didn't block anybody, specifically. I didn't do any of that. I took it in, I listened to it, I tried to understand perspectives from fans, from different types of press, from, the club itself. And here's what I'm going to say is the one thing that I did notice, which was actually a good thing, which is why I was more hopeful than some in November and December, was they were getting time. Okay, and I say we, because I say we. Right? We were getting time in the ozone with the puck. That was happening. Okay, and the passing was pretty good. We were maintaining possession of the puck. Right. So if you go back, like just let all that other stuff go, and you go back and you look, you'll see what I mean. Right. The situation though was, well, some were looking for holes, some were looking for those angles, some were looking for that, perfect shot. And when it gets to the point where you've done quite a bit of passing and nobody's taking a shot, well then that's where that's where the season started crumbling. All right, crap shots, gentlemen. Never be afraid to start taking crap shots. Right? You can have sustained time in ozone with the puck. I mean, at the very least, what they were not, there were turnovers, but there was still a good bit of time with the puck in the ozone. Too much passing, yes. Okay, that's when you just learn. Take crap shots. Just keep taking crap shots. Just keep taking crap shots. Like go out there and limit yourself. 3 passes, and whoever gets the next pass shoots. It doesn't fucking matter what kind of shot it is. It could be a total shit shot, but send it toward the net anyway. All right, because crap shots after a while do okay start producing some rebounds and some confusion in front of that, and it can start eroding any kind of defensive system. Right? It starts eroding. It starts eroding it, and then those who are good at like, ooh, I see a way in. I'm 2 steps ahead. I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay, the beauty shots and all that other kind of stuff, and the nice shots, fine, but you know, taking more crap shots on net probably would have gotten them into the playoffs because it just starts wearing on the goalie, and the defense has to work harder. It's harder, those weird bounces, that kind of stuff. You look for rebounds. Forward should always be puck hungry. It doesn't matter if you're in your D zone. It doesn't matter if you're in the neutral zone. It doesn't matter if you're in the O zone. Puck hungry. Look for rebounds. Never stop that way. And there were quite a few games where those crap shots should have been, some analysts and other people will call them A shots and B shots. Okay. If you're going through a period of time where you are not able to get A shots, then everybody just start taking crap shots. Take the B shots, take the B shots, take the B shots. It doesn't matter if you whiff on it. It doesn't matter if it barely, heads to the goalie. Oh, my medication is here. I may have to sign for it. It doesn't matter. Okay. Those are things that, I kept. Hang on. Thank you. All right. I might break this down and put this as just a regular happy post, but it was just on my mind this morning. I wait for some of the dust to settle and everything, and that's why I was more hopeful than maybe some of the other people who kind of were right because you know they were getting sustained time, and you know, but it really maybe somebody should have been the catalyst to just your first period and you're doing that and you're well second period everybody just take crap shots like three passes and then shoot, just decide. Okay, just decide in the second intermission, just decide. Okay, like just start taking crap shots. Okay, because those crap shots, right, could turn into a weird bounce, could turn into bouncing off a player. It could turn into right, and then if you do that a little more consistently, well some of that is going to open up somebody from a certain line is just going to be like, oh yeah, okay, well I'm in the right place and I can see this sucker going. So that then can produce an A shot or a good shot. Okay, but you're sustaining pressure, and those crap shots sometimes go in, and those crap shots sometimes bounce right to somebody who's wide open with the goalie frozen on the other side. All right, that was the biggest issue. That was it. And in Nyquist's defense, okay, see, I'm like looking at if I look at it goalie perspective, right? I mean, I'm a cheerleader for all the skaters. As far as I'm concerned, you're all welcome to go score goals. Get in there. You know what I'm trying to say? I also appreciate stay-at-home defensemen. They're important. All right. But what I'm saying is that, if you just remove the goal scoring thing, Nyquist was a veteran presence. Okay. Kind of fearless around the net. His positioning was very, very, very good. He probably had some role in mentoring, and other guys could learn from some of that. You understand? So as much as people wanted to call him NyQuil, I did occasionally, just because I was trying to spur him on to score some goals. Not that he may not even know I exist. However, you understand, his positioning was better than almost everybody else's on the team. Okay? You have to look at the whole total game. I understand fans, you get mad, you get upset, but some of you don't see the game like I do at all. I've been at it 40 some years. Okay? And there are things that I know to look for. And there are things that I will start, just patterns will start. And so, aside from not getting goals, I still technically count two. I know the offside, regardless. If you watch the one where it was called offside neither right, right, if you watch it, look how freaking in control he was. He brought it in himself. He did the work, he maneuvered, and he shot. I mean, he had full control of the offensive zone. Right? That's not like an everyday thing in some players. So, as much as people may have wanted to hate on Nyquist, right? As an NHL player, given certain things, I can tell you he had very good positioning for an NHL player. He was comfortable in high pressure zones, right? I understand. It seems like one thing on the ice because you're looking for results and other kind of things, and sometimes, yet right, you're not seeing the good that can be built on the good in why certain players. And I got to be honest with you, on average, I watched a bunch of other teams too, and I could tell you that Nyquist had good skills, well practiced, especially when it came to position. All right. So, some people are assessed in those kind of ways. Also, there is no way that the club is stupid. Right. I understood that some people who, discussed it, it came across as disrespectful to the fans that, there wasn't more press available and information coming from the upper deck, which I call ownership and management. Okay, I call it the upper deck. I agree that, you know, if it was me as general manager, I would have jumped in at some point in the losing streak, no later than game eight, to take some of the pressure and all other things off the coach and the players. They didn't have answers for some of it, okay, because they were doing what they needed to do, game by game, brain train it in. Never look at the game you're going to play Friday when you got to get through Monday and Wednesday first. Okay, all players in the NHL, every single one, should be brain trained. Okay, we're done with this game. This happened, that happened. Maybe discuss it a little, blah, blah, blah. But basically, as soon as that final buzzer goes, you immediately turn your attention to the next team you are going to play. And you do not think or worry about any other thing in the future because you got to play that game. You got to know, okay, who's this opponent? What do we know about this team? What are the things that we've done to give this team a hard time? What are the things this team's done to give us a hard time? Okay, well, do a little more of this and counteract a little more of that. Simple, easy. That is where every single player's mind should be. There is nothing else. The Stanley Cup is not visible until you get into the playoffs. Brain training. Brain train that in. So, also, fans, okay, you understand? Right? It helps if you just do the same thing. Okay? You don't have to worry. There's no overthinking. It's just, okay, well, this is what the players are doing. It makes no fucking difference where any team is in the standings at all. Fans, press, you all want to go about that? Fine. But the NHL players better not be thinking that way. They need to have that brain training right the fuck out of them. So I need the press and the fans to understand, okay, I don't care what you see or how you think. Your team has one ideal goal, and that is get 2 points in regulation. Ideal goal. That does not always happen. That's the ideal goal, though. Every single final buzzer, immediate reset. Okay, we just played the Flyers. Maybe we talked a little bit about it in practice. Maybe we just a little bit here and there and watch. But right immediately, their minds need to shift toward, well, we're playing Vegas 2 days from now. And they start locking in on Vegas. No other thoughts. The Stanley Cup is not visible until you get into the playoffs. Okay, fans, press. Okay, don't fuck around. I mean, if you actually want a team to, right, don't be fucking around trying to do the thinking for them or have any idea, right, that you know better, because most of you do not. And as a fan, I can tell you the roller coaster ride is not that bad if you do that too. All right, this game's over. Who's next? Vegas. I'm just using examples. At the player level, you understand? The reset happens immediately upon, right, the 3 stars of the game. Okay, they'll talk a little bit, but as soon as they're out of the building, it's like, done. Win, lose, draw, whatever the fuck it is. Standings do not matter to them. They shouldn't matter to them. You want to know why? Because it doesn't fucking matter to them. It shouldn't. All that should matter is, all right, well, I do this one. Okay, now let's discuss Vegas. What do we know about Vegas? What has Vegas done to give us a hard time? All right, well, we got to, think about, putting that, maybe giving, just dealing with that a different way and understanding that's probably what they're going to do. But what have we been doing that really gives them? And maybe we should, emphasize that and think about that. Okay? Point blank. Their heads need to be in the game and fully present. Fully present. Game in, game out. This is truth. This is reality. If some of you didn't know that, well, now you do. There's nothing they can do about the standings other than concentrate on the very next reset and concentrate on the very next team they're going to play. Okay? They can't skip over everything and go get the Stanley Cup, because the Stanley Cup is not visible until you get into the playoffs. Some of you frustrated, you don't care, you don't like it, you disagree with me. I don't give a shit. I'm speaking straight truth. Every NHL player, okay, forget about the fact that you're going to play the division rival on Friday. You got to play the game on Monday and Wednesday. Right? In locker rooms, people should not be talking about, I can't wait to play on the Friday. Fuck you. No, shut your mouth. Zip it. Fermi LaBouche. All right? Yet. You got to play that next game. And every team can actually beat every other team in the NHL these days, no matter what the fucking standings are. The Canucks did not lose them all, and the Avalanche did not win them all. If you can't handle the truth in the National Hockey League, well, maybe you should choose a different hockey league. Truth, fact, reality. Simple. Easy. Less frustration. There's not a thing your favorite NHL team or the team you're writing about can do about the standings at all, other than to be 100% as prepared as they possibly can for the very next opponent. The ideal goal, what's the ideal goal? The ideal goal is 2 points of regulation. Every time, game 1 through 82. Game by game, step by step. Okay? Fuck the Stanley Cup. until you get into the fucking playoffs. The Stanley Cup is not visible until you get into the playoffs. Simple, easy truths. Anyway, I could talk more about the Jets. I stayed off Winnipeg Jets. I'm letting some people just talk about. They're talking about Bombers and other things, and right. And when it comes to the, you know, playoffs, it's not my team. Sometimes I'll pick a team, but yeah, I'm just kind of rooting for the goalies. I kind of see the playoffs a little differently than some people. I'm rooting for both goalies. Yeah. You guys been keeping them to zero for 2 whole periods. Right. I just root for the goalies sometimes. All right, moving on. There are some things on Earth way more important than ice hockey. I realize some people might be skeptical of this, and you may not agree, but in essence, you know I'm speaking truth. All right. Well, I'm stepping onto the killing floor, fellas. It's my floor. I'm gonna run it. This is my medication. It comes to me refrigerated. Sustainable solutions. Let's see. Temperature sensitive delivering a greener future. Oh, this is 100% post. This is 100% recycled cardboard. And some of the some have ice packs and other things like right. Some things are much better for human health and the health of plants, animals, and right the world in which you live. All right, well that's everybody's business. All right, so I got mine. Now this is what I'm saying, and this is where I hope, like, excuse me, algorithm, your mind, right? The U.S. politicians and policymakers really should just listen to a natural, real, right, human adult who has very serious neurological disorder and could at any point, right, find out that there's cancer involved in my life as well. It's never that far away from me. All right, so this is recycled. All right, now here's a refrigerator. This is all right. This now I have to go through a series of shots that the Humira version, which is the uh, brand name. All right, I now have my insurance company stopped paying for it, so I went without for a while. Unfortunate. Okay, for those of you who are not in the United States, listen. You you can think what you want to think, and you can say what you want to say. But if you're not here walking around in our shoes, having to deal with medical care as it is, just nobody's asking you to judge. Nobody's asking you for fucking advice. You do not know. You have no idea. You don't understand. Just, I'm just being straight, honest, straight in the eye situation here, right? Okay, in the United States, there are people who quite literally, because they can't afford the health care, or the health care that they can afford, refuses to pay for certain things, and so they die. We are stressed out constantly by our own healthcare system. All right, please back up off of us if you did not understand. Okay, I'm just straight truth. Like, I'm straight arrowing this thing. All right, I know some countries, I know Canadians, I've understood, right? Sometimes, you're waiting forever and a day for a specialist, even though it's paid for. And I know people have, I've seen the Canadian news. I pay attention, to the news and everything that at least comes out of Manitoba, Winnipeg. I get it. People die in our emergency rooms too, waiting. All right. There's a lot of reasons. Some of it is we need more people in healthcare, more people doing interdisciplinary. And let me just tell you, fellas, males, you're picking and you're choosing if you're going to college or you're, looking to get into a field. Let me tell you, okay, licensed clinical social workers, social work psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists. We need more males immediately. You see what I'm trying to say? Right? A lot of job opportunities. There's going to be a lot. There's a need. It's coming. It's coming hard. We're already behind in the United States. Get in there. We need more males in therapy, licensed clinical social work. You understand? All right. People, right, start multidisciplinary looking at some things. Biology, psychology, biology, psychology. You understand? All right. Right? Like culture specialist. What do you call them? Sorry, sociologists, biology, sociologists, psychology. You understand? We need it. We need it now. Yes, people coming up. Those things are. It is a severe need at this point. I'm only talking to those in the United States. This is what I'm talking about. The threshing floor. Listen to me. You are a human entity, company, government, business, group of individuals, public or private, and you are manipulating things in the United States of America that's put me and millions and millions and millions of others in seriously difficult situations that just by stress alone kill us. I am your worst nightmare. And I do not end until you do. I keep my word. If you are a non-human entity and somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, she's a crackpot," I don't give a shit what the fuck you think. I'd like to introduce myself. Some people think I'm an angel. Do you know what angels are capable of? Would you know what an angel in looking like human flesh? Can you tell the difference? Well, can you point? Anybody know what a cherubim looks like if they're in the flesh? Anybody know? Anybody have pictures and real truth and or anybody? Anybody got that? Anybody know what a cherubim might look like? Anybody know what a seraphim looks like? Did you know that there's more than one type of angel? As a side note, young blood, right? You've been hanging around all the wrong people, terrible influences. Okay, yes, you're a dude. All right, rise up, be a dude. Some of this shit, okay, is not okay. You're getting extra protection, but you got to learn, and you got to learn now. And if you don't trust that I am your friend, you're fucked. And that guy was not the Prince of Darkness. Some of you people do actually have to understand the reality. There's some turds online who tend with that. This is the generic version, okay, of Humira. My current insurance company, weird issue label. I'm grateful that there is the MCOs because I've had to be put on Medicaid, which in Maryland it's medical assistance. It's help with making sure you have a health care plan, and some are low or no cost. Right. Well, I got it enough to deal with gastroparesis, periodic limb movement disorder. Okay, my vagus nerve was damaged when I had to get, emergency oral surgery. I'm not going to sue anybody. There's a lot of shit going on in there. I'm hoping that perhaps it can naturally begin to repair itself. There's really no surgery I want to go through for somebody to try and fix it. It's just too much in there. So, lots of things happening right here. I had to go to shock trauma special. My vagus nerve was damaged. I'm aware of it. Causes me issues with digestion, gastroparesis. Okay, these are all real terms. They are not psychosomatic. I'm not sure about medical qualifications, AMA, APA, United States of American, like legal residents and those involved with making decisions and so on and so forth. But oh boy, you guys, anybody in the medical field, including licensed clinical social workers, all need a certain amount of CEUs, continuing education credits. You may not, okay, continue on and practice if you do not update your information, understand that the bio and the psycho all go together. I gotta tell you, from the White House on down to every regular person walking around the United States, okay? There are too many fucking cracks. There are too many people who are not up to speed. Insurance companies, listen to me. Um, I, when patients, when orthopedists and other people, I get to put my medicine back in my box. Okay, great. It comes with these. Okay, this is plant food and drain safe, but I keep them. Okay, it keeps my medicine cold while in transit. I keep them though, right? Right. It gets hot. When it gets hot, like, oh, this helps, pulls heat right out of me. I get red faced when I get hot. I don't think anybody's actually seen me angry. So people misread me all the time because my capillaries are close to the front. Some of you can't read people. Some of you are not good. Some of you people like misunderstanding cues. You understand? I've had people tell me, "Oh my God, are you angry?" No, I'm hot, or I'm having a hot flash, or I have rosacea. Capillaries close to the. All right. My kind of skin is the kind of skin that when I go out in the sun, I burn quick. You look like a little red lobster. And then I tell you, I'm not angry. I'm determined. And I will not stop. Okay? I will not stop. I'm disabled. I worked full time jobs and sometimes two jobs from the time I was 13. You understand? And I got diagnosed with a sleep disorder, PTSD, when I was in my teens, a sleep disorder when I was in my 20s. Okay. Another disorder when I was in my 30s. And it all adds up to something called functional neurological disorder. And that is not some fake fucking shit. Your actual nervous system does not work the way it should. And it is very similar to Parkinson's. It's just that it's not like this part of the brain is damaged. It's okay, this part of the brain is supposed to be dealing with this part of your body, but it's confused and it starts dealing with your foot instead. Real neurological issues, real trauma, real illness, real. I can't fucking get my fucking ass out of bed today because my body doesn't understand what the fuck is going on. Fibromyalgia itself. A lot of people with functional neurological disorder also have, right, fibromyalgia. Okay, you can tremor with fibromyalgia. All right. The difference in my tremors is that my tremors are more from uh, neurological situation that's not fibro tremors because it's only on one side. I have a lot of the symptoms that people with Parkinson's disease do. And I don't give a shit, United States of America. Listen to me. Every single motherfucking person in this fucking country should know that Parkinson's, the signs and symptoms of Parkinson's can start showing as early as age 20 in both males and females. Okay? There are too many quacks in the medical and psychological and sociological fields in the United States of America. I speak only truth. Anyway, insurance company apparently had issues. I don't know, but there are a lot of doctors I have, right? Some of them stopped taking that. It's Medicaid. It should be required that all Maryland state certified doctors and medical, right? Apparently, it's so. Even if you have insurance, human beings, listen carefully to what I'm saying to you. Even if in the United States you have insurance, okay, number one, it's not guaranteed to cover a lot of shit. And on number two, right, your doctors and medical people, right, they may not accept that insurance. And they may be the only specialist like within two fucking states. And I can only see doctors in the state of Maryland. I have had enough. My life is not a game. If somebody wants to use me and put me in the middle of shit and cause me harm, I am going to keep coming at you until there is nothing left of me in order to stop it from happening to other people. I am the wall. If for some reason you're a non-human entity, I think you should check around. I'm famous somewhere. I'm famous in heaven, but I'm also famous somewhere else. Not on earth. Most people just ignore me. A few listen, which is cool. I don't care about like the masses. It's just if I can help a few people, and if I can, impart some good thinking to the ice hockey community, particularly my ice hockey team. You know, it's out of love. I mean, I got so much love, it's crazy. Right? Just keep spewing love out. Like, I know, but too bad you're getting loved on anyway. Nobody gets by me unloved. We need to have whole wide discussion of how medical things happen here. It is unacceptable. There are insurance companies may not even know are responsible for causing people terrible harm and struggle. It's not okay. Same thing with doctors, same things with, medical people in here. It's just like, okay, but it can be avoided and it doesn't need to happen. That is a lie. Much better ways to handle things. Much wiser ways to handle. Anyway, I have to take. Uh, okay, this is what I have to go through on a daily basis, just so you all know why I'm considered disabled. I had to give up the right to drive. I love driving. I've driven all over the place, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of miles. And I had to freaking give up the right to drive a motor vehicle for the safety of myself and everyone else around me because of my medical condition. There's there's 3 injections. So to start this medication, okay, to restart, I got to do, you know, two, like 2 today or tomorrow. I'll probably start tomorrow, so I know what I'm doing. 2 the next day, and then 1 the day after that, and then I do the following week. I got to do 2, 1, 1. And then the following week, I got to do 1, 1, 1. And then following week, I got to do 1 and 1. And then the following week, I got to do 1 every week at a particularly high dosage. And what I'm going to tell people who study or know anything about lymphoma, particularly non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, is people like researchers, nerdies, people who are interested, right? Start like looking to see what the correlation between hidradenitis suppurativa and lymph node aditis, like doctors and people would know what I'm talking about, right? I may not say entirely right, but that non-cancer version of right lymph node issues, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, at the very least non-Hodgkin's, because HS could be an indicator that you have a certain type of lymphoma, or it could be a symptom of lymphoma. Okay, but these, okay, are biologics, and biologics have been tested and known to help. Okay, with some flare ups, and see what will happen is you get these horrible boils in certain places. A lot of times where there's a hair follicle, but not always. There are 4 stages. Okay, so sometimes, I mean, I got all kinds of scars, and yeah, look at that, we go fat right now. Also, exercising for me is very, very difficult because fibromyalgia. If I, try and exercise, and any of you people trying to tell me I'm making up excuses shall have dreams and nightmares about having my condition, and you will not wake up until you understand your mouths are wrong, and you will stop speaking. Lest you lose your tongues. Yep, scars, but like, I can get golf ball size, like cysts, golf ball size. And so when you're under the armpit, you can't close your armpit, and you can try. You can try to poke it. You can try and poke with something. You can try and squeeze. Right? You're not really supposed to do that, but go ahead and try. Yeah, nothing comes out. It's just this horrible, painful golf ball size thing that you did not incur upon yourself with bad hygiene or anything else. You know how hard it is to put your arm down when your armpit has a fucking golf ball in it? That's painful. Happens in the crotch, happens on the boobs, happens on the ass. I will not tolerate certain types of manipulation. And I will speak up. When I know there is a better way, which is why insurance companies listen, you're going to end up paying less money if, for your medical insurance in the United States of America. If a fracture boot, otherwise known as a walking boot, is prescribed and you pay for it, okay, do not pay for it, okay, by itself. Deny coverage, or simply say, make it known, if a fracture boot is prescribed, then the shoe lift that fits on the other side on the foot also comes with it. That keeps it at the exact same, your shoe lift keeps you at the exact same level on walking flat surfaces. Because if you don't, you're paying for chiropractors later. You're paying for, injuries that happen because, yes, people limping around and hobbling around because they don't have shoes the same size that are leveling and evening them out. You're going to be paying for extra physical therapy. All right, do the right thing. Help people and spend less money. Very simple. I am not a child. I have stepped onto the floor. I suggest you stop ignoring me. Love above all else. That's it. Say that once a day and see what happens in this world. Make it a practice. One statement once a day. Habitually. Love above all else. Some of you might want to, if you've got that all down pat right, you might want to say, I want to be a part of the solution. That's it. Far better ways for people to get handled with healthcare and knowledge, and moving things around. And we don't want to be in a sick care thing, but there are some things that, yes. And listen, some medications are freaking absolutely important in people's lives. Some, I can guarantee you, most Americans are medicated, and I may be speaking to other countries. This may be true otherwise, but in the United States of America and territories, yeah, over medication. If I were a psychiatrist, I will say this again, I would not be willing to prescribe any kind of like mental health medication without my patient going and having some sort of head scan. I'm not sure, head scan, MRI, it might seem like that's a lot and it's expensive, but I got to be honest with you. It is probably going to save some freaking lives and time and help, right, the diagnosis of that individual by leaps and bounds. So, in essence, you'll end up spending less, insurance companies, fewer lawsuits, more peace of mind in the, from a psychiatric perspective, that you know it's, some of these, if you do have some brain damage or if you do have a neurological disorder that does show that your the client's brain is either damaged, or, like in my case, it's out, it's like it doesn't work in the same way that it should. You understand? It's not brain damage that way, it's how things get processed. And it's sometimes even more difficult than Parkinson's because it's freaking unpredictable. Like Parkinson's, there are certain, they've been doing a lot of good research. They know what kind of, there's some things you can plan for. There's stages, it's more, there's more information than ever. They know kind of, what to expect when it comes to certain things. Some medications can help you through those stages, right? But this is more like any old day. I could get up and feel perfectly fine. But by the time I walk to the bathroom and sit down to pee, I'm having the worst day ever because vertigo hit me and my one foot feels like it's on the floor. So when I stand up, it's not. And I just smack right into a wall because shit's not working right. X.com. Right. I am looking for ways to sue you. And you are being un American. And I don't know why you keep trying to get money from me when you suspended my account after I told you that it'd been hacked. Okay, well then don't fucking operate in the United States of America. I'm not all paranoid about it either. Like, oh, they're trying to. I do have a genius level IQ. That's not bragging. It's just information. I'm not expecting everybody to be like that. There are some entities, groups, individuals, perhaps companies, whatever. All right. You understand your your manipulations. Okay. If you are the master manipulator, you're the one who will be brought to justice. See, I don't think you know who all my brothers are. I don't think any of you would know the difference between an angel, supernatural being, and a human walking around planet Earth. And in case anybody didn't notice, when it comes to scripture, I suggest you revisit Job, which is in the Old Testament, because like the word Satan really means adversary. It's not like yeah, it's not a title. It's not a name. But regardless, all right. But there's only one manipulator, so-called God. Yeah, because you see, like Satan can't do anything to Job that the master manipulator does not allow. Maybe he was teaching a lesson in several different ways all at once, but that one has the balls. So why don't you shut the hell up and quit teaching false crap and quit trying to use your ego and manipulation and quit pretending like you know what the fuck is going on. Okay. Right. Yeah. A lot of you need to, shut your mouths down and spend way more time, right, trying to figure out who you are and actually asking daily, I only accept the truth. I only accept wisdom. I only accept love. I also like to remind people, listen, I understand when it comes to sleep and sleep paralysis. I get it. It could be something metaphysical, spiritual. It could be. All right. But before you go all into that kind of stuff, you understand? Just listen to me carefully. All right. I do get sleep paralysis when I'm lying on my back. So before any of you, okay, go looking for spiritual metaphysical, listen to me carefully, right? Train yourself to sleep on one of your sides, not your stomach. Okay, pick a side that seems most comfortable for you, and then train yourself to sleep on your side. Doctors, medical people, sleep specialists, respirologists, yes. Trust me when I tell you, I have had zero incidences of sleep paralysis because I trained myself to sleep on my side. It may be that you're open to something metaphysical, spiritual, I don't know. When you're lying flat, prone on your back, okay? But I can assure you, it doesn't happen when you sleep on your side. And if you are sleeping on your side and somehow it still happens, all right, well, then you can look at some other things. It also might be, right, the position and where your weight could be. Something could be pressing on one of your lungs. If you get sleep paralysis, do not go to a paranormal investigator or a church or anywhere else. Right. Go to a sleep doctor and train yourself to sleep on one of your sides. It never happens to me when I sleep on my sides. Never. I know why physiologically it happens because I have a sleep disorder. Many of you are not experts. Many of you should not be online. Teenagers should not have a right to be online in the United States of America and territories and ruin adults' businesses by, bombing and giving them all negative shit. Okay, teenagers really shouldn't be online. Egregiously bad idea, adults. I mean, they shop on, online and, they don't understand. So they give you a really shitty review when actually, they don't understand how the fucking world works. Oh, but, and then people want their money back and then they attack you and then they all get together like in groups and be like, okay, well, write all these terrible things. All right, well, okay, adults say no, Mr. President. Tech giants. This is my fault. And I'm stepping on to my threshing. Hot damn, I call it the killing floor. Let's do this, boys. The beef to me is over. Mark my